TV's gotten crazy good, you know.
Tell me why.
In your mouth.
Yes, every single day. Yum, yum, yum.
Hey!
What's up everyone, Adam from FWCI, the Secret Invasion pitch meeting is here. I've been very eagerly anticipating this one. I watched the Secret Invasion on my channel. I reacted to every single episode. I put it up in like 2 parts. And this is the first Disney Marvel thing that I've watched that it wasn't good. Like, there was some parts of it. I feel like we learned so much about the what happened with Nick Fury, and we learned a lot in this, but it all just meant nothing. It was completely inconsequential. It didn't follow on. The only outcome of this is we've now got the most powerful being in the entire MCU floating around somewhere. They've just added that in, which I think that's a bit too much personally. And there's a Skrull war happening on Earth now, which that's a big deal. Like, that is a big thing, but it just kind of got dropped at the end of the season with no other real follow-up or anything. So I guess we're going to see that play out in future movies. But again, like, it just feels like the things that we did learn just don't really matter, at least yet. And the show was kind of slow, and I can't wait to hear what Ryan George has to say about this, because yeah, this was not a very good show, and I love the Marvel content, and this one really sucked. So let's check out the video, Secret Invasion pitch meeting with the man, Ryan George.
So, you got some new Marvel stuff for me? Well, actually, sir, I thought maybe we could take a little break. You know, we've been churning out so much content. I think everybody could use a little breather. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. Right? All right, that should about do it. Yeah, that's good. So I'm thinking we do a Secret Invasion show. Oh, the shape-shifting Skrull storyline from the comics? That's the one. So Nick Fury's gonna come back to Earth, and let me tell you, he's old and miserable now, as all protagonists should be. Yeah, and so he's gonna meet up with Maria Hill, remember her? Oh yeah, we only got snippets of their partnership in the movies. It'll be cool to dive into that a bit more. Yeah, for sure. So she dies. Oh my god. Pretty much right away. Dang it. See, it turns out that some Skrulls are evil now, and there's a little faction of rebels.
Yeah, that's another thing that doesn't really feel like it's a big thing, but it doesn't feel like it matters that much because we don't really know much about what Maria Hill's even been doing lately, and her dying is a big deal, but it just kind of comes at a time where it's like, yeah, and I guess, like, yeah, it just didn't work.
They want to start World War III. What are they rebelling against? Nick Fury. What do you mean? See, he and Captain Marvel had promised to find them a new planet, but after looking around for like 2 years, they were like, no, there's nothing out there. There's no planets at all. Why don't they work something out like the Asgardians to have their own little place on Earth? Unclear. So now this Skrull named Gravik is in charge, and he hates Nick Fury and Talos. Uh-oh. Yeah, and Talos' daughter Gaia is gonna be a part of this group, but then she's gonna realize, hey, maybe the Skrulls that want to kill a bunch of people aren't super.
See, the show is boring, and even just talking about it in the context of pitch meeting, it's kind of like dry and long. Like, just even hearing, oh, that's right, yeah, Talos' daughter was originally in the thing. Like, it's just a exhaustingly, you know, shit ass show.
Nice. So she's gonna switch sides? She is. Amazing. So Gravik basically wants humans to go to war and blow the planet up and live on it. Well, so what we're gonna get here is a super sophisticated spy thriller as Fury tries to stop these Skrulls. Well, yeah, I imagine that's gonna be thrilling. You could really play with the shape-shifting Skrull thing, you know? They could be anyone at any time. Really create some tension in the scenes. Oh yeah, that would have been good, dang it. Wow. But you have some Skrulls impersonating people, right? Yeah, but we just let the audience know who's a Skrull pretty much right away. Like, Rhodey is a Skrull. We just tell them that through a mirror. Well, that might be thrilling in its own way. Maybe, yeah, maybe, I hope so. Anyway, so what else?
Most surprising part about that is not only is Rhodey a Skrull, but he's a female Skrull as well. That was kind of a, I mean, that's like a 1 second of like, whoa, I didn't expect this particular person to be Rhodey, but I did suspect that Rhodey was absolutely, definitely 100% a Skrull.
Else happens in this thing? Well, we're gonna reveal that Nick Fury's actually married to a Skrull. Oh. Yeah, so if you ever wanted to see Sam Jackson deeply make out with a green alien, this is the show for you, I guess. That is on my bucket list. I'd also like to see him make out with a bucket. Oh yeah? Just Sam Jackson making out with anything, really. It's just fun to watch. Okay. Samuel L. Jackson tonguing stuff is tight. All right, anyway, so Gravik gives himself
Just gonna take a moment. All right.
extremist powers using this radioactive machine he has. Okay, and he wants to give himself a bunch of superpowers and become a super Skrull. So he wants World War III and also superpowers and also like a house. That's right, so he can walk around all green-like. And for that war thing, he tries to kill the US president and blame it on the Russians. Very sneaky. Yeah, and during the attack, frickin' Talos dies trying to save the president. Oh, extremely sad. I mean, I kind of remember him from Captain Marvel. Yeah, he was in that, and you know, maybe a post-credit scene. There's no way I'm checking. Totally.
Yeah, he was in the post-credit scene of Spider-Man No Way Home, Far From Home, I think. Talos was a great character, but exactly what he said there. We barely got to speak, we barely got to know him, and even in this show here, they didn't do a great deal to, like, really endear him to us. And I'm Aussie, and I love Ben Mendelsohn's deep, gravelly, you know, kind of Aussie voice, and even that, I was just like, okay, I guess Talos is dead now. Let's keep going. Like, and they didn't really follow it up. It was not handled well.
Fair. Anyway, so then Rhodey the Skrull advises the US president to drop a big old bomb on the Skrull hideout in Russia, which would start World War III. Uh-oh. And so Gravik tells Fury, hey, I'll call off the strike if you bring me all the superhero DNA you scraped off the endgame battlefield, you big DNA collecting weirdo. So hey, why doesn't Nick Fury call the Avengers? That's kind of his move, isn't it? We're actually gonna address that. Fury's gonna be like, no, this is way too personal. I gotta do this myself. And also, we can't rely on superheroes all the time. He's gonna risk the end of the world because he
We can't rely on superheroes all the time. Yes, you can. That's why we're coming to see the movies, man. Yeah, I thought that was dumb as shit. Oh, it's too personal. What? No, man. Fury, you are about to get a bunch of people killed. That's not personal. That's mass death. Get your fucking head out your ass.
This myself, and also we can't rely on superheroes all the time. He's gonna risk the end of the world because he feels like this is a personal situation. That's right, it's personal. No superpowers. So what does he do? He sends Gaia to go get superpowers and fight the fight for him. But so Gaia shapeshifts into Nick Fury and goes to this
Holy shit. Yeah, good point. We can't rely on superheroes all the time, and the plan ends up being to make the most overpowered superhero of the entire friggin' MCU. What the fuck was this show doing?
super radioactive hideout and pretends to be dying from radiation and whatnot. Okay. And so then when Gravik gives himself the powers, it also gives them to Gaia. What if he had just shot Fury or not kept him inside the machine with him? Well, it worked, so get all the way off my back about the plan, and then it's time for a final showdown between these two. It's time for Nick...
Yeah, you know what? It probably was obvious at the time, but now that I think about it, that's really fucking dumb. Why did the expectation that, like, I'm gonna kill you in this transformation, like, that seems like a big assumption to make that he would do that, you know?
All the way off my back about the plan, and then it's time for a final showdown between these two. It's time for Nick Fury's personal fight. That's right, and so Gaia and Gravik start punching each other with a...
Yes, let's watch this personal fight of Nick Fury that he's got nothing to do with.
Bunch of recognizable superpowers. Like what? Well, like Gaia flexes Drax's muscly arm with the tattoos. Are his tattoos a part of his DNA? Hey, shut up, and she has Ghost's powers, you know, Ghost. Ghost couldn't really control those powers and also wasn't at the endgame battle. Hey, shut up, and Mantis's mind control powers to put Gravik...
I imagine any, like, hero that's been in any kind of, like, containment, they've probably got their DNA. But, good point, she wasn't at the endgame battle. Was she? I don't think she was.
To sleep? How does she know how to use those powers? Hey, shut up, and Ebony Maw's magic rings? How are rings a part of someone's DNA? Hey, shut up! Hey, shut up! Haven't we established that magic is something you learn? Hey, shut up! Well, okay then. Okay, great, so punch...
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ, I'm getting, like, waterboarded with plot holes with that. Like, yeah, Ebony Maw, was it his ring that was, magic? Either way, like, it's not a part of... Yeah, this was a fail. This was a monumental fail. Like, seeing this is not only reinforcing everything that I already felt, but it's showing me a whole other side of, like, garbage that this show was.
Punch, 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 power beam, punch, 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 backflip, probably. Very exciting, but hey, if they both have those extremist healing powers, it's gonna be hard for one of them to win. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, see, Gaia's gonna punch a big hole in his chest, and so that does it. He's dead now. Why does that do it if he has healing powers? Because the fight's over, over now. That worked. Oh, okay. Oh, and while that's happening, there's gonna be a tense showdown between Fury and Rhodey and the President. Oh, yeah? Yeah, and Fury's gonna be trying to convince the President that this frickin' guy's a Skrull. Wow, if only there was a way for them to identify the Skrulls. Well, throughout the whole show, they're gonna be shooting Skrulls because they bleed purple, so that, shows it. Why not do that now? Because this way we can have a couple of minutes of manufactured tension. Smart. And so after those couple of minutes are over, Fury's gonna shoot Rhodey and reveal he's a Skrull. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Wow. Then the President's gonna...
Even the wow was like, wow. Like, yeah, at that point, it doesn't really matter. And that scene was, I did like Sophia, though. She was probably the only part of this show that was actually enjoyable and entertaining, and I do want to see more of her in the future. Her and Val, give it to me. Gonna go on TV and declare all off-world species as enemy combatants.
Oh, he is. And people are gonna go nuts. There's gonna be vigilantes running around shooting political leaders and stuff, trying to find the Skrulls. It's gonna be absolute chaos and paranoia. That actually sounds like a more interesting Secret Invasion show. Yeah, well, Nick Fury has to leave Earth now, so we're not doing that. He's leaving, but he arguably showed up and made the situation a whole lot worse. Yeah, so now he's gotta go. He's gotta get out of there. All right.
That's a good point. He just fucks off. Like, all this is happening and Nick Fury's like, all right, I gotta go. This made no sense. This show made no sense.
So what do you think? I think it sounds like a pretty good show. And hey, I'm picturing some cool, like, AI-generated intro credits.
Yeah.
That'll really be cool. Oh, you're starting to use AI for stuff, huh? Yeah, but you don't have anything to worry about. We're just gonna start using it for stuff like art and, ideas and acting and voice acting, background acting, script writing. Oh, please don't. Oh, I mean, AI is getting really good. What's the alternative? Pay fair wages to human people for all the jobs you just mentioned? You sound insane. We don't do that now. I know. Anyway, let's spend $200 million on this and reshoot a bunch of it and chop it up in the editing room and dump it on a streaming service. We can do no wrong, and this system has no flaws.
Whoa, wow, yeah, Ryan George, he got cranky there, it felt like. And I agree, I understand. I think he's obviously clearly a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though his job is to, poke holes and poke fun and things like that. But this particular series was especially shit. The reason that it was uploaded in 2 halves is because after watching I uploaded the first episode on its own, and then I uploaded, I think I even deleted that and uploaded the first 3 episodes in one once I got to episode 3. And the reason I did it like that is because I just didn't want to have to prioritize, editing this show. I watched it pretty much as soon as it came out, because I was hanging out, all right, what's going to happen? Who's going to show up? Something good's going to happen. But it just never seemed to come. So that was why that was on such a delay, was because I just didn't give a shit about it. And I think it's pretty unanimous. I haven't heard... There was some redeeming moments throughout it. Like I say, they were very fleeting and they don't really mean anything. But in terms of the experience of watching the actual show, there was some great dialogue with Nick Fury, especially with Talos, and they painted a really sincere, dramatic kind of picture. And it's just that there was no real evolution in the story, or it just seemed to kind of plot along at the same very lethargic pace the entire way through. And then we got to the final episode and you've got the 2 most powerful beings in the MCU fighting it out for 5 minutes, and then that's it. And then, like I say, everything kicks off after that, but Nick Fury leaves, and and by the way, with Rhodey, so he was in the brain, that thing, for apparently since Captain America Civil War. So I'm actually curious about that, because I know we've got a lot of content coming up with him in it. It's going to be Armor Wars, I think. So at this point, he doesn't know anything that happened from Civil War onwards, because that's when he got shot out of the sky and taken to the hospital. He's in that hospital robe. That's the kind of going theory. So he doesn't know Tony Stark is dead. He doesn't know that Steve Rogers is gone. So I feel like there's a bit of an interesting setup for something to potentially be a good story with Rhodey kind of getting readjusted to this new world, and is that what they're calling it, like the Brave New World or whatever like that? Because I know that's Captain America, but I feel like it's a new world for Rhodey if that is indeed the case. So they did set up a couple of things that definitely will be a big part of the MCU moving forward with this Skrull thing happening. That's going to be a big influence on future movies. So it kind of did its job in terms of like planting a couple of seeds, but a whole series shouldn't just be planting a couple of seeds and having like a couple of moments of like, oh, like Fury's marriage to the Skrull lady. Like, we spent so much time on that, and then Fury leaves, she leaves with him. It doesn't have any ongoing sort of impact on anything that's being told, like this overall story. Like, it was very Fury-centric, and I don't think it needed to be. Somebody even mentioned that, you know, how do these people that are being held in this, like, hyper-nuclear, like, you know, wasteland, with the thing, with those things in their head, how are those people even surviving with all the radiation that's there? Like, I don't know, like, just so many parts of this movie. With that being said, Emilia Clarke was very good at it. I do think she's got a great, she has a great superhero mouth. What I mean is, when she's like, like, you know, doing those, like, high power moves and stuff like that, just the makeup of her face, like, she looks really good like that. It's a weird, very subtle little thing, but like Batman, if you've got a good like jaw and mouth, you're a good Batman, more or less. Like, it's a similar kind of thing. I thought she was really good in this series, and I did like the twist that, you know, she was the little girl from the Captain Marvel movie, but again, it just felt very disconnected from everything else, and now we don't know what the hell's going on with her. Sophia, as I mentioned, fantastic character, and I loved every moment where she was on screen. I hope we get to see more of her in the future. I would have loved it if it was just about her. Make it Sophia's story, and Nick Fury can just be a cameo. I don't care. But the next Marvel property is going to be The Marvels, and I don't know, I'm going to try and maybe get off social media between now and then, or now and when it goes up on streaming, because I want to be able to add some MCU movies to my uploads. I know that they usually do pretty well, even if it is going to be the Marvels. We'll have to wait and see. But I love the MCU. I'm well versed on the universe, and I am a fan of it. I do want to see it succeed, and it is a massive bummer that the Secret Invasion series was such a flop, because, you know, even the optimist in me was having a real hard time finding ways to defend this series, and so there's no defense. It's shit. But let me know in the comments what you thought about this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, see you in the next video, peace!